Hey guys, Happy New Year. Welcome back to Horsepower Obsessed. Today, I'm gonna go over a buyer's guide for the Chevrolet Colorado. First, let's start by talking about my truck, what options I have, and what it cost. The MSRP of my truck was $38,150. But with some specials running in July of 2018, I got the truck for $31,500, which is a pretty good price considering I got pretty much exactly what I wanted. This truck is the 4x4 Z71, which I kind of need here in the state of Pennsylvania since it gets snowy here quite often. This does have the towing package, which I will use come springtime because my wife has a 22-foot ski boat, and it's nice to have that integrated brake controller for all that as well. That was another option I also had on this truck. Now this one is the V6 variant with an 8-speed auto transmission. Obviously, like I said, it has the tow package, the built-in brake controller, and as you can see back here, it does have the OEM spray-on bed liner, which really has come in handy keeping everything looking nice in the truck. But anyway, enough about my truck. Let's talk a little bit about some things you're going to want to think over before you start looking too much into purchasing your own. Number one is going to be, do you want gas or diesel? Are you going to be doing a lot of towing? If so, the diesel option tows 700 pounds more than the gas engine and also has a fair amount more torque, 369 foot-pound to the V6's 275 foot-pounds. Will you be driving long distances? If so, the diesel also gets better gas mileage compared to its gas engine brother. 18 city, 25 highway for the gas engine, and 22 city, 30 highway for the Duramax. Final thing to think about is the diesel option also adds about $4,600 to the final price. So if the diesel is something you're going to want, you're going to also have to add in that extra cost at the end. Of course, the V6 doesn't get horrible gas mileage. The diesel obviously does get a little bit better, but in my area, diesel is a little harder to come by, and especially during the winter time, diesel is actually a little bit more expensive than gas. So definitely keep that in mind while making this choice. Number two is going to be 4x4 or two-wheel drive. As I stated earlier, I have the 4x4 option, mostly because I live in a state where it will often be needed for snow. I probably won't be doing a whole lot of off-roading in this truck, but it will happen occasionally, so I knew the four-wheel drive option was for me. But do you have inclement weather that may require more than two-wheel drive? Will there be any off-road use? If so, you're going to want to look into the 4x4 option, or maybe even a specific model, which we'll touch more on in a second. Last thing to consider is the cost. The 4x4 option adds over $8,000, so definitely something you are going to want to keep in mind when looking at this truck. How much off-road use are you going to have with it? How much bad weather are you going to have? If you live in a state where you don't get a lot of snow or a lot of ice, you might not need four-wheel drive, but again, if you go off-road, even in a state that doesn't get snow, still going to want to look at that four-wheel drive option. And number three is going to be extended cab or crew cab. Obviously, as you can see here, my truck is the crew cab, and it offers a lot more comfort for anybody sitting in the rear of the truck. It's a lot more spacious and has more of a four-door car appeal than necessarily a kind of compact truck. However, this option comes in at about $6,000 more than the extended cab. So this is something you'll want to ask yourself. Will you be hauling additional people around often? Is the extra cab space something you'll need? I personally sold my Chevy Cruze to get this truck, and I liked having the additional room, so I opted for the crew cab. But either way, it's definitely something to consider before buying. Number four is the short bed or long bed. This kind of goes along with the extended / crew cab option, but you can get either option with the crew cab, so still something to think about. The long box is a little over 6 feet, while the short box is a little over 5 feet. Obviously, this one here is the short box because I do have the crew cab option. You can get the long box with crew cab, but in my opinion, it ends up making the truck look a little too long. But again, this is something you're going to want to consider based on how much you're going to be hauling around and how often. The long box option with the crew cab is an additional $1,600 more than just the extended cab with the short box. Like I said, I think it looks a little too long with the long box, but of course there's always a reason to have additional hauling space in your truck, so definitely something you're going to want to consider. Number 5 is going to be off-road use. If you plan on doing extensive off-road use with this truck, you're definitely going to want to consider at least the Z71 4x4 to start off with. If off-roading is basically your life, you may want to even consider the ZR2, which Chevy claims is built for off-roading. If you're planning heavy off-road use and want to get the ZR2, keep in mind it starts at $5,800 more than the Z71 equivalent. The price obviously goes up a fair amount with the ZR2, and your towing capacity actually drops to 5,000 pounds instead of 7,000 pounds with the V6 Z71. Something definitely to watch out for. You're basically going to have to determine if you want to do off-roading or if you want to do towing, because 2,000 pounds worth of towing capacity is a lot to lose if off-roading isn't really necessarily something in your future. Now, the ZR2 also has better suspension, as well as a better approach angle in the front as well as the rear. The bumpers are cut away a little bit more in that truck to allow you to have a steeper approach angle. So again, you're going to want to kind of make the decision as to whether or not you're going to do off-roading or towing, especially if you plan on towing anything on the heavy side, because like I said, there is a 2,000 pound discrepancy between the ZR2 and the Z71 with the towing package.
Hey guys, Mrs. Horsepower Obsessed here. Thank you again for supporting my husband's channel in 2018. We look forward to bringing you great content in 2019. Thank you again for all the support, and Happy New Year to each and every one of you.
What do you guys think about this buyer's guide? What options do you like on this truck? Let me know in the comment section down below. What options did you look at for your truck? And how much did you pay for it? All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know down in the comment section below what you thought of this buyer's guide, what options you would choose for your truck, and how much you would pay for them. Overall, the truck I picked was exactly what I needed for where I live and the limited off-road use I'll be using it for. But of course, as with everything in life, everybody's needs are different. So let me know what you ended up customizing, how you built your truck, and comment down below. If you liked the video, give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I'd love to have you as part of the Horsepower Obsessed community. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next upload.